All right. Good morning. Good morning. It is 6:31. It is August 27. It's like the dog days of summer are here. Read the disclosure. Let's get to it. All right. Good morning, guys. My name is Scott Redler. I am the Chief El Jefe. I like this song for a second. Hold on. You ever hear the song? Sometimes a little music can get you in a good mood in the morning, right? Why not? You're sitting here, you're in your Russian bathhouse, drinking your iced coffee, and getting the day going through charts, going through levels, trying to figure things out. You know, if you have to be here, you might as well be comfortable. And I'll tell you right now, you probably should be on the beach. You should be in the mountains, because being in front of your computer right now in this choppy mess, you know, it could cost you more than a vacation right now. And yesterday it cost me a little bit of money. I'm a little annoyed, but we get over it, right? That's what we do as traders. We get over it, we move on. Anyway, let me say hello to some of my dogs around the world. Who do we got? We got Scotty Gids in the house. We got Jamie always rising and grinding. We got Blair. We got Dario Dip. We got Tappan. We got Ali Hassan. What up, Sully? We're getting it done over there. Mike Pags is on board. Let's see if I could show you how I'm talking to everybody, because everyone's like, Red Dog, you always looking at making people up and talking to yourself. Well, there's everybody coming through. We got Harambe. Good morning, Scott. Just dropped daughter. Oh, University of Tampa. Congratulations. Yes, it is college season. Everybody's getting dropped off. My friends just dropped their kids off at Indiana. Some kids just went to Cornell, Yale. What up, Thomas Dwyer? How you doing? All right. That looks like a kaleidoscope, by the way. Might as well get back down here. All right. So anyway, what is happening in the market? There's a lot going on in the market. There's a lot, but there's nothing. Does that make any sense? A lot, but there's nothing. All I know is, you know, yesterday I gave him a little, like a quick and dirty of what the hell's happening. You know, it looked like the IWM made a short-term peak for the week. You know, the XBI is trying to hold and break out. The Qs are rolling over, making a lower high. The diamonds are at an all-time high. The SPYs, you know, are smacking this range. And, you know, if you're sitting here after market like I was yesterday, long Apple, all of a sudden starts dropping $2 and you hit it out because you think something's going on, you could lose money. Anyway, isn't that great? I'm not here to complain. But so here's the chart of the SPYs. Like, look right here. So, you know, you had this V bottom, and then all of a sudden it's getting a little choppy in here, right? Yesterday at least, they opened the SPYs above, you know, 563.18. Like, I came in long the SPYs yesterday. So here are all these different levels. I like to have points of reference. So I came in long, and I was selling some pre-market. Thank goodness. And some guys like, hey, well, I'm going to, you know, short verse this high here when it came back below, you know, 563.18. And then what did it do? You know, it held this. What was this low? 559.05. Here's the low from Friday, 557. And then here is, you know, the real big area. So the question is, you know, now that everyone's kind of thinking, okay, this is going to be a V bottom, I'm going to go sideways and get to all-time highs. Wouldn't it be cute if they came off a little bit? I'm not saying they will. It's just the way these computers are programmed. So anyway, for today, what do we know? So that's how I try and frame it. We know 559 is yesterday's low. We'll see if we can hold above that. Right now, the SPYs are down a whole 20 cents. Okay, so smack absolutely nowhere. If we were to get below there, then you have this and you have that. Then you have this and you have that. Big time technical terms. And then here is resistance area. Chances are nothing really is going to happen today or happen big until after NVIDIA on Wednesday. Okay, but then look where we are here versus the highs of July, and then you go looking at the Qs, and it's different. The Qs are all the way down here. So there's your highs from July. So the Qs are showing relative weakness for now. And then it did play with this. Remember, I'm like, look at 473.81, went below it by 60 cents, rallied off it, and now, you know, the question now is, will the Qs break below 473.24 and test this gap here at 468? It could happen. You know, if the SPYs are going to go to 557 or 555, the Qs are probably going to go to here. If the SPYs are going to hold there, you know, chances are it's not going to happen. And then whatever happens, say tomorrow, could be all negated when, you know, when NVIDIA comes out on Wednesday. right? But at least NVIDIA also, remember yesterday, I'm like, guys, will NVIDIA fail at 130? NVIDIA and AMD were really predatory yesterday. Like, if you don't know, like, the push through failure, the way we targeted for the Red Dog reversal, you could have really got hurt yesterday. Besides a little paper cut. What do I mean? Well, if you look at NVIDIA, okay, NVIDIA yesterday, remember 24 hours ago, Mike, will it get above and stay above 130, 130.75? Well, it went to 130, 126, failed to hold that. So that means you get the hell out if you're an active trader, maybe get short versus that, and then came in really fast. So if you just you go to NVIDIA, and you look at the chart from yesterday, let's put the chart there from yesterday on top of the daily chart. I use lots of different time frames, and you go to the intraday, you can't actually even really see it. So look how fast it went there, and then just trending down all day. It was like, wow, like it pushed through, couldn't hold, and then broke 129 and went all the way down to 124. So if you just bought all day because, it was strong in the first 5 minutes, you got pretty hurt. So anyway, that was right there. And look what AMD did. AMD, look at that big candle. That big candle happened in the first 5 minutes. So you could have been short AMD, thinking, it hasn't been acting well. Got squeezed out, and then it literally didn't have a green bar all the way until like 10:35, an hour later. So A, if you could have got squeezed out. B, you could say, look at this strong candle, I'm going to buy a dip. Well, it should never have broken this spot. It probably should never have broken that spot for it to then, dribble all the way lower. So anyway, but ultimately AMD, NVIDIA is fine. Get rid of this candle here, turn this into here. Bottom line is it's still above the 8-day. It still just had a big move, and it still has to wait to report earnings tomorrow. So what am I going to do? I'm still trying to think to myself what I'm going to do for tomorrow. What you could do is you could do a 130 by 140 call spread. It'll probably cost you $3 to make $7. So if you think NVIDIA is going to beat and guide and it's going to break above 140 and hold above the prior all-time high, because it hasn't been there literally since, this is, you're talking about June. So June, July, August. Yeah, it's only been 3 months. Then you could buy a 130 by 140. That's not so bad, just to have some involved. If you're a long-term investor in NVIDIA, you could be, right? A long-term investor. There are a lot of them out here that listen to this. Then you probably don't have to worry about what happens. If it's down $5-6 or more, you know what? You sit on it, you wait, you buy a little bit more, then chances are in a quarter or two, it's back at all-time highs. Or if you're in it and it goes, you're in it. But as a trader, if you're getting paid on September, the first week of September for August, and you're like, I'm going to just be in NVIDIA because NVIDIA is always great, and then all of a sudden you buy a few thousand shares and it goes down 10 points, you could ruin your quarter, you could ruin your month. So that's why as an active trader who trades for cash flow for a living, use options, because options risk is premium paid. You could buy a 130 by 140 call spread, by 20 calls for $3. You're risking $6,000 to make 14. At least it's defined. But if you had 20 calls, which is 2,000 shares, and it goes down $10, you're losing 20 grand. And then maybe who knows what you're up for the month. But anyway, yeah, SMCI is the worst stock ever. No, it's not. It's really hard. I tried to play I actually made money long SMCI yesterday, and it was down $50. I'm not trying to brag. That's how the fine line and how fast you have to be. Look how crazy this was yesterday. First of all, once you look back at it, you're like, all right, it looks like a bear flag continuation. So most people that were in it anticipating. Sometimes you anticipate, you have something versus a spot, and then you add to it when it gets above a level to get motion, and that could hurt if you do not have your parameter set. So for those who were like, I'm going to risk versus 595 because this is 595. This is the lower end of this flag. You said, I'm going to be long, I'm going to be long 500 shares versus 595, and I'm going to add 500 shares if it gets above 632 because it's going to fill that gap. So you have a great price, you have a momentum price. No. So when this, first of all, the next price didn't trigger. So if you were sitting versus this spot because this was the defined area, you probably lost money when you got stopped out, but you're like, wow, thank God I have stops because I got stopped out of 595. This thing went all the way to 555. Went another, 40 points below your stop. So stops hurt, but stops save you money. Anyway, SMCI has been horrible. Like if you look at this, I remember back here, it was like the key to Wall Street. and now all of a sudden it's not. So anyway, this flag pattern or this pocket pivot, whatever you want to call it, went to the downside. So it's back. It's back in the doghouse. So the question is, what's not in the doghouse? What looks good? What could potentially have momentum? It's getting harder to find a little bit. I guess, again, tomorrow after NVIDIA could change. So here's Apple. Okay, Apple looked good to me yesterday. I was long it, and even a pro gets shaken out. Last night, I'm sitting here. I do my recap. I'm having actually, a little cappuccino, and drops $2. I'm like, what the hell's going on with Apple? It made me money yesterday. I bought it perfectly, bought the dip, and then, PS, I'm like, I got to hit it out, just trading wise. And then the CFO, and then it looked like it was calculated. It's not a big deal. So now Apple's down 65 cents. So we'll see. Maybe Apple goes from from green to red today, where you could buy it. It's going sideways, kind of continue to go sideways and then go higher. That's my thought process. Apple was a great trade back on August 5th. Apple and NVIDIA were my two best trades on August 5th because I bought it in the hole and I held it for a few days and it was easy. And then this also proved that we can have a V bottom in tech and whatever. So anyway, so this is your spot. Can Apple, go from down 65 cents and go green? And if it were to do that and blow off the news of the CFO not wanting to be the CFO anymore, and maybe they want to get, a younger person or whatever it is. Anyway, so that'll be interesting for today. Does Apple go down, 80 cents and go green? Jim says ONON is still looking good. I agree. ONON is definitely still looking good. Look at that move. Wow. Okay. This was, Nike got crushed, a lot of the apparels, but you know what? I'm wearing ONONs. My wife's wearing On Clouds. My son and his friends are wearing On Cloud. So you go to the weekly chart here, and this chart that I've been putting together for a while is now getting above its IPO area. So it's good to see, that something could work and do its own thing. So if you're in ONON, congratulations. A little bit better than Nike these days, right? Look where Nike is. Let's go to Nike. Nike just had a move, actually. This is trying to fill this part of the gap. So somebody's like, could you look at Nike? So this gap here, you can make it smaller now. There it is. There's that much left to be filled. So yeah, Nike gave you a move off the lows here. A lot different than On Cloud. So if you're in Nike, it's acting better. It could fill a little bit more of this gap. But this is a different trade. Nike's been around for a decade. People made gazillions and gazillions with Nike. And now On Cloud, it was a new IPO, a new piece of business that's working well, that's showing growth. So ONON is definitely a lot different than Nike, and what a nice move above the 8-day moving average. So if you're in this trade, congratulations. You're making good money. I'm not in this trade right now. I was in this trade here, and I think I got out of it there, and I never revisited. And I'll have to say Fibonacci and some of the guys from the VTF were all over this. So congratulations, to you guys. So some of you go MSGE. I haven't looked at that in a while. Do you think the Knicks are going to be good? Madison Square Garden, the Garden. Yeah, it looks pretty good. You have a gap, holding it. It's above the 8-day. A little extended right here, but it's been good. It's very liquid, hard to trade, but I do think the Knicks are going to be good. I think the Garden's going to be rocking. So let's go to the weekly chart. How does that look? Oh, look at this. On the weekly chart, it's nowhere. You have this big gap from way back when. So it seems like it was all the way up here way back in the day. Yeah, this is on the weekly chart, this looks like it could get to, 50. This is nice, right? It is nice. It's going to go fill this gap to 56. Look at that. So this looks pretty good on the weekly. So that's why sometimes you need the daily and the weekly. The daily looks like it's a little extended, which it is. But on the weekly, it looks like it's got some room here. So I like that trade. Go for it. As far as IBM, wow. Everyone's like, look at IBM, Red Dog. IBM, they said that this is where money goes, went to die, which is not true. Just sometimes that's what Microsoft did back in the day. So IBM is right back to here. What I would say is hope that, some bears are hoping for a double top here. To me, it doesn't look like it. It looks like it's showing relative strength. Here's the chart. So it gets above this 199-ish. You know, it definitely looks like it's above the 8-day. Hopefully you bought it here. You know, it's showing relative strength. And yeah, IBM looks good too. You guys are coming up with good ideas. Hey, SPHR. I haven't looked at that one in a while. Oh, it's Sphere. That's Vegas. Have you been there? A lot of my friends went to see you too. I haven't been in the Sphere yet. I haven't been to Vegas in like 2 years, but looks pretty good. Everyone loves it. You know, that doesn't mean, you know, it's a good stock or a good chart, but it's definitely hanging in there. Look at that. Another strong stock. So yeah, you know what? There's some names off the beaten path that are doing that you could do. They're doing just fine. That looks pretty good too. Square and PayPal. I don't love PayPal. Everyone, if I had $1 for every time that someone said buy PayPal in the last year and a half, I'd get a lot of dollars, but I'd lose a lot of trading. Let's see what Square looks like. Square. You know, one of these friggin' days, Bitcoin will actually have some follow through. We'll see when that is. You know, but for now, Square, you know, it had a move into a bigger trend line. I would say fairly decent. Give me my line. Where is it? Red Dog loves his lines. So you put a line here. Looks like it just got a little rejected there. I would say you could be long with a stop at like 63-ish. 63-ish. Let's put 63 in there so you have it. Decent, you know, different chart, not leading. You know, this thing, I remember when we played this way back here, this had that big gap up, went to 82. And so I would say as long as this holds 63, maybe when Bitcoin gets a little bit better, because it likes to move psychologically with Bitcoin, you know, it can get above this spot. Meta, you know, Meta is just kind of like the epitome of the frustration that I've been having a little bit in the last week and a half, because Meta looked like it was going to be the Mag 7 name to break out. Finally, held in best, huge 6-month channel. It broke out. It went $2 above the all-time high and failed. I had options on, I had stock on, and definitely a little annoyed. It looks fine. It's fine, you know, long term, but short term, it felt like it was going to get above this 540, 542. It literally went to 544. Couldn't hold it. Thank goodness I got out of the stock, because I would have hurt, you know, but I'm still in the options and I'm losing money. I have until September something around next Friday. And, you know, some people got stopped out yesterday at 522. It hit 540. Ultimately, the chart's still fine, but actively, if you're getting paid in September, you know, and the end of the month is coming, and you bought it for a breakout, it didn't work. Sometimes it's just, you know, that's you know, that's what happens if you trade actively for a living. That's why the funny thing is, you know, Trendspider put this, you know, little tweet out. I thought it was funny. I want to go to it for a second. This is Redler Premium, by the way. Redler Premium's right here. That's a different site. How do I get to? I want to go to the Trendspider post. I thought it was really cute. You know, where is the little? You know, usually I do this on my phone. Anyway, search. Let's go Trendspider. Oh, here it is. These are my boys. I use them. So it's just funny. So this was this. This is why I talk about all the time frames a lot. So here it goes. Here, look, the long game almost wins. So here it shows like a trader, right? You have 4 monitors, 6 brokerage accounts, 15 stock forums, Discord, this, that, 40 to 50 trades a day, and you know you lose. Like yesterday, I lost $7,000. I'm being honest. I lost $7,000 yesterday, and then you know, and then you have the guy who is just putting money in every single month in a 401k. Has been doing it for 12 years. Has no idea what's going on, and he checks his statements once every you know, 3, 6, 9, 12 months, and he's just making his 10, 12% a year. So anyway, we could do this and this. That's why I talked to you. I have a 401k, I have a 403b for my wife's private practice, I have a 529 for my son, and then I have the blood in the street account for when things go down 5, 10%. We're buying, we're not selling, we're not getting scared, and we've been doing that 17 times. And then I get paid for a living monthly and quarterly. So I just thought it was funny, because a lot of people, you know, in the last week or two got caught short, you know, the tail end of this V move. So they're down money, but they're like, oh, my 401k is doing awesome. You know, my long-term accounts are friggin' killing it, and trying to be smart. Sometimes, listen, you know, we make a lot of money, but sometimes it's just a little bit more frustrating. But anyway, let's go back to, this is Trendspider. This is the charts. And this is Meta. So if you're a long-term investor in Meta, you don't care that this just happened. If you're trying to time it, it was a pain in the butt. So anyway, there's not a lot of Mag 7 names that look good. Like Microsoft doesn't look great. It made a lower high just like the Qs. It gave you this one pocket pivot trade to 426 and came down. Google doesn't look great. What looks decent? Netflix, hit a new high of this move. Guys were buying it at 640. It's been above the 8-day. Just hit the, it just pulled back and touched the 8-day. And it seems like at some point it's going to, I think it was upgraded today. It's going to, continue to the upside. Yeah, Amazon has been a pain. I made good money in Amazon, a week and a half ago when it broke above this spot here to fill this earnings gap, which was right here. But that was the trade. Not an all-time high trade like it was here when Jeff snuffed it. Jerk. Anyway, now I guess you could be trying to see if does it hold 174. You just hit 182 if you want to buy versus 174. But if the Qs break that pocket pivot lower, Amazon's coming down. There's some news that we're going to have to start paying for Alexa, which would be a good revenue source for Amazon, considering Alexa's free. I don't think anyone's upgraded their Alexas in I don't even know how long. So it wouldn't be such a bad thing if Amazon came up with a new product. Everyone's got the big Alexas, the small Alexas. Maybe if they had I don't know, just turn it into something different. Like iPhones have 17 of them. Go Alexa, call it something else. Call her Alexandria. I don't know. Anyway, Lilly is still a leader. I'll leave you with Lilly. It's on a different sector. Nice bull flag here. A lot of people from my community that know the post earnings play where you go long versus that pivot low that day, which happened at 825. You're chilling. Now, the question is just like I said before with an SFCI, but differently. Some people are long verse. You could be long verse 934-ish. Okay, what's Lilly doing today? Just real quickly. It's down 12. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Didn't it come out with a little bit of news today, or it's just down with the futures anyway? So if you're long anticipating a breakout back above 966 or 972, today you're gonna have to figure out what you want to do because Lilly is down 14 or so, which isn't, it's 1.5%, but so something had to have come out. Usually it's not down 14 like that. I'm not in Lilly right now. I was waiting to play a breakout. I didn't want to just sit. I don't want to just sit in this market in this spot. But anyway, I guess here this is 939, which it's below. So just be careful. There's some room below for once. This little pivot here is what 916.50. Listen, I'm going to leave you with this. Yesterday, I was hanging out with the Alpha team, and PDD came out with that news, and it didn't look great, and everyone's like trying to buy it pre-market. I'm like, guys, it's August 26th. You guys are trying to buy a Chinese ADR pre-market. I'm like, wait for it to open, wait for it to put a 5-15-minute low, and then try it versus that instead of blowing up your month trying to play a bottom in a name like this. Look at that craziness. Be like, oh my God, it's crazy. I'm like, it's not. It's a Chinese ADR. It's not that crazy. But PS, huge hold to the downside. It brought up. I haven't really traded any of these Chinese names in a while because the market's tough enough, let alone these Chinese ADRs. So anyway, when is to 95.86 is your pivot. Here is your big gap. I would just avoid this mess. I thought maybe look at 109, 110 yesterday, and it just blew right through it. So you never know what a stock's going to do. All you need to be able to try and do is protect your trading account. Say that to yourself. Protect my trading account. Have a system and process. If you were buying PDD pre-market, you got your ass kicked before the market even opened up on a Monday in August. Is it worth it? No. You could have waited for a little bit of a low to trade against, and that's what 95.86 was, or just avoid it because it's such a crazy name. But anyway, holy sugar honey iced tea at 6:56. I got to get moving here. I appreciate you for tuning in. If you're here, be prepared. If you're here, not in the beaches or the mountains, make sure you got your process. The worst thing ever is when everyone's on vacation and you're like trying to be responsible and trade, and you lose 5 times what you would have spent on the beach and on a vacation. So don't do it. Do a little less. Right now is a little, iffy time. And again, NVIDIA's tomorrow, and then we have some inflation data coming out next week, jobs report, all that kind of stuff. So, let's just go back to the SPY real quick. All these levels do mean something. It's points of reference. Okay, you don't want to play things in no man's land. You want to play things at prior points in reference. And then you want to see what they do there. Does it break below and reclaim it, or break below and stay below to show who's in control, right? We want to be on the side of whoever's in control actively, knowing what time frame you're on. All right, guys, I got to jump. Hasta la vista. Cheers. You too. I'm going to be on Fox Business today at 3:03. So if you guys want to tune in, I will be jumping in a car at 1:15, heading to the studio. And I'm going to be on Now What Liz Claiming today. I think she's on vacation, but I do promise once a month I go in studio. Once a month I'm in the seat. I like to go to the studio because when I'm in the seat, it's hard to hear. My forehead looks big, and every now and then go to the studio. It's nice and pretty. Anyway, that's where I'm going today. So I'll I won't be at my desk in the afternoon. Good luck today, guys.